Hello. Jeez. Hello. Good day. Hopefully I got my microphone on. Today's topic, Three-Eye Atlas. Um, Basically, there's a lot of hubbub about it, a lot of controversy about it. Simple explanation, it's rock. It's a big frozen rock with all kinds of gases and chemicals on it that are frozen and very, very, very frozen. It's very cold out there. It's streaming into our atmosphere, or not our atmosphere, oh dear God, hope not, into our solar system. And when it does that, it's going to get all kinds of gravitational pulls from the sun, from the Earth, from Jupiter, which is a big one, from Mars. Plus, it's going to have interstellar winds or solar winds, which occur from the sun, radiating energy out in all directions. Well, except for poles, but that's, we're not getting into that. Anyhow, it's a rock with frozen gas all over it. And when it's coming at you this way, it's like, oh, not very big, not giving off much light. But as it tumbles and goes this way, suddenly it's 3 times bigger and giving off more light in direction of where we are looking at it. Comets have a path of direction and a little tail going that way from just stuff wearing off. And then there's also going to be a path directly opposite of the sun, where the sun is cooking it and the solar winds are taking it and making that actual tail, the visible tail, the one we all see coming off this way, is perspective to where the sun is. So if the sun's here, and here's Three-Eye Atlas, its tail is going to be that way, even though it's moving this way. If that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. But anyhow, so when it's coming at us this way, it's very small, not much light coming off, and they're like, oh, look at it's irregular. Then if it tumbles, all of a sudden we get this side, and it's that much bigger. And if it tumbles again, it gets weird and small, and here it gets big again. Granted, it has all kinds of chemicals on it, like I said, that are frozen. And as it comes into the sun, it's going to have resistance and heat build up from the solar winds, which will do that. Uh, space isn't a big nothing. There's a lot of stuff in space to do a Carl Saganism there. Anyhow, you also have, as it's coming in, all these frozen gases and elements that are on it. As it comes in towards closer to the sun, it heats up, and it doesn't heat up regularly. This isn't in an oven in your kitchen. It's getting heat this way from where the sun is. So these parts start frosting and maybe off gassing, or jets will come off of it because it's cooking. And that can induce a turn. That can induce all kinds of weird actions because you don't know what's all frozen on this rock. Two, it's also okay now. Glowing blue. Well, it's not supposed to do that. Well, we don't know entirely what this giant frozen rock of ice is made of. So if it's now putting off a blue color, I mean radiating out blue, that's someone did the chemistry and then or physics spectroscopy for which element glows blue, which probably means there's a dominant element here. Was it nitrogen? Nitrogen? No. Anyhow, it could suddenly be glowing more than what we expected because there's more of it on here cooking off. And again, as it cooks off, it pivots and turns as it moves around doing what it's doing. It's, not a bullet. And even bullets have to account for wind, gravity, and when a bullet starts tumbling, it goes anywhere. All kinds of strange mechanics, physics go in. Calculating where a comet coming in from out of our galaxy, out of our solar system, and has been coming here for a very long time. It's taken up a very long time for it to get here. I said before we were even here. So if they were coming here to come visit us, say, that's a hell of a long trip for Thanksgiving. More than any of us will do to go see their family. Not this long. Anyhow, there are people saying it's aliens. It's an alien spaceship. Well, again, why? They would had to have been launched long before it even knew we were here, or before we were here to let us know that we are here. But anyhow, it's not aliens. It's a big frozen rock. They're not always nice and symmetrical. Like this, they can be all kinds of weird, funky shapes. Oumuamua was a sample of that. It came in at like a certain angle and then started tumbling and doing weird things, and everyone's going, oh my God, we've never seen that before. Now we have Three-Eye Atlas going, oh my God, it's doing something different than what Oumuamua did. Well, these large objects, large orbit objects that come in from out of our solar system, from wherever, the Oort cloud or beyond, we've only seen a couple of them. Oumuamua was the first one that really caught our attention. Three-Eye Atlas now has our attention. I think there's also Three-Eye Lemon. It's a third or a fourth. not getting as much attention, but they're also, well, because they're not, coming anywhere close to Earth or the sun, they're way out. But still, we haven't seen that many of them, so we don't know what it's supposed to do. We can do all of our vector analysis and gravitational uh, manipulation of orbits, which is very complicated. Um, don't go into that unless you really have a mind for maths, vectors analysis, and planetary geometries, and then it gets really messy. You think a pool table can be difficult? Yeah, try dealing with the solar system. Anyhow, that's our physics lesson for the day, and our astronomy lesson today, and maybe even a bit of chemistry lesson, and photography, because it's coming at you this way, and it turns. What happens? It gets bigger, even though it's not. It's still the same distance. And as it's traveling at weird paths because it's off-gassing and moving about, resistance from the wind, Jupiter pulling on it, all planets are moving, it's moving, it's a mess. So, granted, we've got some theoretical physicists, one who I used to really enjoy, Michio Kaku, making comments about aliens or not, don't know. Avi Loeb, wonderful mathematician, does a hell of a lot of mathematics. He doesn't say it's aliens, but he's also saying, hey, let's look. Why not? You never know. Hey, come on. I mean, you're not going to say, oh, it's aliens and immediately walk away, put on your tinfoil hat and say, ooh, out fell. No, he's saying, hey, look at it. See what's happening. He does a hell of a lot of mathematics on it. I like him a lot. Far more than Akaku, who now shows up on weather channels to tell you what a weather pattern is going to be. Like, you need a theoretical physicist to do that. I think he'll just show up anywhere that's a paycheck right now. Anyhow, sorry, lecture. It's a rock. We're okay. It's doing weird things, but then again, we've only seen a couple of them, ever, that we're aware of. We are now looking back on old photographic plates we've taken from various telescopes all over and comparing them, literally overlapping them like negatives on negatives on negatives over the years to see if we can spot anything else more from before we had these big ass telescopes in space that can see all kinds of wonderful stuff. Not just us, the Chinese have them out there. They have one around Mars and there's one around the moon, and we're behind there. But anyhow, and there's Google Mars if you ever want to look all the way around Mars and know there's no one living on Mars right now. But anyhow, besides microbes and our little Martian rovers running around having a field day. Anyhow, sorry that went a little bit longer than I expected. Hopefully the microphone's on. And again, 3i Atlas, it's cool. I'd like to see it. Probably comes not until mid-January or early January, late December before you might be able to see it in the sky. I have to double check on North America whether I'm even going to be able to see it. I'll double check on that one. But anyhow, it's a tumbling, frozen ice cube with stuff in it. And it's melting and burning and being a little weird, but that's cool. But again, we don't know what it's supposed to do in the first place. We've never seen it before. Well, Oumuamua and a couple others, but that's it. So don't get weirded out. It's all cool. We're safe. World's not ending. Just to give some astronomers something really fun to do for a little while, so long as they don't go too far as to saying that it's an alien spaceship with reptiloids in it coming to take over the Earth or something. Sorry. Anyhow, that's it for today. Saludos.